Welcome to another episode on our channel. You saw me earlier put this Gatlin gun together, and I wanted to do that because the instructions are a little confusing at times and ambiguous, a little vague. And it costs time to put this thing together the first time. Even the second time, it took quite some time to figure out or remember what they were asking me to do with the instructions. And even then, sometimes it wasn't clear what you were supposed to do. So I thought I would hopefully save you time if you decided to get this thing regarding how to put it together. So it is together, but it doesn't look like this, which has been painted. And of course, that Gatlin gun does not look like this Gatlin gun, which was what I was trying to replicate in terms of the Wolverine 1973 Gatlin gun. This is actually hard drive components that were taken out of the hard drive and wooden Q-tips, the wooden part of the Q-tips that fit through the holes very nicely. So yeah, it came out very well. What I'm going to do is paint this Gatlin gun to kind of look like this, but give it more of a darker antique bronze look. This was very subdued. And that's what I was going for, but I'll be a bit more bolder here. So my paints that I use are deco art. One is obsidian, so it's really close to black, and the other is antique bronze from Deco Art. They're extreme sheen. So those are the two I'm going to use. So the first thing I'm going to do is use the obsidian, shake it up very nicely. I'm just going to use the cat in terms of paint that gets into it when you shake it up and is there instead of, use a plate or plastic thing for the paint. And I'm just going to coat everything in metallic obsidian. And it's a wonder what just this color will do. It may not seem evident at first, but in real life, it really makes the gun pop a bit better in terms of overall color tone. So I'm just doing everything, hoping things are on there strong enough to hold together and not fall apart. I didn't use super glue. To kind of keep things in place. And when you lay it on at first, using a really thick brush is probably the way to go. It'll cover more surface area quicker. Trying to be gentle in places so I don't knock anything off. There are some pieces on this Gatlin gun that are actually, when you put it together, it's going to hold. It's a really nice snug fit. And there are other things that, oh my gosh, it's one of those guessing games whether it'll stay on or not. And that's where you really want to kind of maybe go with the super glue. Okay. Hopefully I can just. Now I'm not a very patient person, as you all know. So I'm like ready to paint this thing and ready to move on to the next step, even before it dries at times, which is so wrong, but it's so me. The other thing I sometimes do is I just use a hair dryer to dry it, and that helps immensely. We are back, and it is dry. It is dry. Used a hair dryer, so now I shook it up really nicely. I've got some paint here in the cat, and I'm going to do my best to get it a little more, give it a little more color. Try to go quick. So what I've done is each circle piece, this was 2, 3, 1, and 4. I did those. I did the handle part here and the other handle, the rounded part. I don't know what all these things do. A little piece of the handle here, and just a couple other things. So I'm just going to try to replicate that and do my best to get it just a darker shade. Now, ideally, if you were going to do this, probably the best route to do it is if you kind of have a sense of how this all goes together, how it will look in the end, is paint them before you put the pieces together. On the other hand, it doesn't guarantee the paint won't come off as you slip pieces through openings and so forth. So pros and cons. I tend to just go ahead and paint it afterwards. So that's the first one. And that's how it looks, a little darker. We'll pause now. I'll work on everything in terms of these little circular pieces, and then show you just a few end pieces to it, and hopefully it'll be darker than this antique bronze is here. So we'll be back. We are back, and when I did the first Gatlin gun, I really wanted a subdued look to the gun. This time around, I wanted to go bolder, so I used 3 coats of the same antique bronze, and this is how it came out. So you can see that that is much more similar to this paint job, which goes with the Wolverine 1973 version. So depending on how much sheen or shine you want, keep applying coats. And again, I don't have a lot of patience for this stuff, but a hair dryer will go a long way. So you can dry it quickly, put another coat on, and re-dry it again. So 3 coats here, 1 coat here, and at least 3 coats over here. So I hope you liked what you've seen. If you have, consider giving us a thumbs up and subscribing to our channel. In the meantime, everyone, please Have a great day.